Welcome back, everybody. 6:43 today. We are expecting to get the names of 109 clerics accused of sexual abuse in the Diocese of Phoenix to be released. Survivors and their lawyers are going to release a report containing their identities, their histories, and their pictures. This comes weeks after Arizona passed legislation that gives victims of sexual abuse a longer window to sue their abusers. So joining us this morning in studio to talk about this is Tim Lennon from SNAP, or the Survivors Network of Those Abused by Priests.
So this is a major step, obviously, in closure and hopefully moving toward justice for a lot of these victims. What's your reaction to the news that this list is coming out?
Well, we think this is great because it gives an opportunity for victims to step forward, to know that they have a pathway to receiving justice. So we think this is an important step of bringing this information to the public.
Can we talk about SNAP, how long that's been around, and what's your background and how did it even come to be?
Yeah, SNAP is the Survivors Network of Those Abused by Priests. It was started 30 years ago. Initially directly with the Catholic religion, but now we encompass all faith beliefs, the Baptists, Jehovah's, Mormons.
Just anybody who's been abused by clergy.
Myself, we're a peer network of about 25,000 survivors and victims. I'm a survivor myself. I was sexually abused, raped when I was 12 years old by a priest. My work with SNAP as a volunteer is an opportunity to fight back and to make sure that it doesn't happen to another child.
So this hits close to home. What is the reasoning? I mean, obviously you've talked to a lot of victims. Why do people wait so long? What do they tell you? What's the common thread into why people finally come forward and say something about it?
Because the pain and harm is so horrific that people want to bury the memory. That is one thing. I didn't come forward with some of my memories for 30 years, some memories for 50 years.
Well, and do you also feel like maybe there's part of a David versus Goliath? You know, as a child who suffered this kind of abuse, speaking out against the Catholic Church, which is this global entity. It's massive, so it would be very intimidating to speak up and say, this is what happened to me in this church.
Right, and the conversation is changing nowadays, that there's no longer the victim shaming as before. Sometimes victims would hear, oh, it happened a long time ago, or get over it.
Let it
or
go, yeah.
That priest was such a nice man, he would never do that, disbelieving or dismissing victims. But we're changing the conversation so victims can step forward.
So you're hoping that this list, again, that comes out today will open the doors for people who maybe were victimized by the people on this list to go, yep, this happened to me, and maybe get the treatment they need. But you say this 109 is on top of several already identified here in the state and across the country, obviously.
Yes, and we believe that there may be 3 times that many within this, using the same kind of statistics that we found in the Pennsylvania grand jury or the Attorney General of Illinois investigation.
So let's talk about the list comes out later today, and you guys still want more to be done by the state. And what is that?
Yes, we have called on the Attorney General Brnovich of Arizona to basically do his job, to give justice to victims, to make the community safer, and to hold these predators accountable. We want him to do a state investigation like they've done in Pennsylvania and Illinois, and like 20 other states are doing. We'd like to have Arizona, the 21st state, to investigate, to take that job. We have not seen that the church has been honest in releasing these names.
Well, we will obviously be talking to you more about this, especially after this list comes out today. Thank you so much for joining us and being a champion for those people who are victimized. Thank you so much, Tim, for being here.
Well, thank you for the opportunity to be here.
Of course. We'll be right back at 6:47.